Imperial China Simulation. Introduction and Historical Background. This is a cooperative game for 2 to 4 players. Several groups can play at the same time as long as each group has their own materials. This can be used to help students better understand what was needed in order for a Chinese dynasty to survive. In particular, it shows that a dynasty had to be both respected and feared, reflecting the successful synthesis of Confucian and legalist ideas. The building of monumental structures could bolster rule. Despite making the right decision, things might not go so well because of historical contingency, which is a fancy word for luck. And the game is best set in or after the Qin dynasty, but can work for any Chinese dynasty. To play, each group needs a game board, an event deck, counters, at least 10 6-sided dice per group, plus some extra in reserve. The instructor will also need a building deck with a set of cards for each group. A success board is not necessary, but will help students keep track of failures and successes. It is also good to have some place for students to roll all these dice. Students start with 4 all counters in the all pool, 4 fear counters in the fear pool, and 1 fate counter in the fate pool. Each turn, students will be asked a question. If they answer it correctly, they will gain a fate counter, which can be used to change a failure on a dice roll into a success. If they answer correctly, they can add 1 fate counter to the fate pool, as we have done here. Students then add 1 labor counter to the labor pool and 1 resources counter to the resources pool. Students will then draw a card. We drew a good one that increases our all counters, but there are also negative cards. We have added another counter to our all pool as instructed by the card. Students must then respond to an event, some of which involve rolling dice, making a choice, or both. A PowerPoint and accompanying video will be provided guiding you through this.
In events that involve rolling dice, students will roll either an all check or a fear check. For those checks, they roll a number of dice equal to the number of counters in the respective pool. For instance, we have 5 all counters, so we would roll 5 dice. If it was a fear check, we would only roll 4 dice since we have only 4 counters. Students roll dice and then count the number of successes to see how things go. This simulates the fact that even if someone makes the right decision, things might not turn out well for them. We rolled 3 successes. 1 fate counter can be spent to change a failure into a success. This can be done after the instructor informs the class of the results of the event. Let's say that the event gives a fate counter for 3 successes and an all counter for 4 successes. An extra all counter is very valuable, so we can decide to spend a fate counter and change a failure into a success, thus giving us the all counter. Here we have removed our fate counter and added an all counter. Next, students are allowed to assign their labor and resource counters to a building project. We have decided to start building the Great Wall and move our labor and resource counters to fill in those spaces. This is because both awe and fear are needed to win the game. Don't tell the students this though, see if they can figure it out. After students completely fill in the building boxes, they complete the building and are given a building card. They should keep the counters on the board in the building space as a reminder that they have already completed that building as specifically. After students completely fill in the building boxes, they complete the building and are given a building card. They should keep the counters on the board in the building space as a reminder that they have already completed that building as specific buildings can only be built once. Once students complete a building, they inform the instructor who gives them the building card. Students then adjust their awe and or fear pool accordingly. For instance, we have added 2 fear counters since we built the Great Wall. At the end of the simulation, students will need to pass both an awe and fear check in order to see if their dynasty will continue or if it will fall. Potential discussion questions. Did you win or lose? Why do you think you had that result? Why do you think there were 2 different characteristics, awe and fear, instead of just one, such as power? Why do you think that different structures generated awe and fear? What was your least favorite part, if any, of the simulation? What was your favorite part, if any, of this simulation? Do you have any other comments you would like to add?